The dog gets out of the car and starts drinking all the gas.
Life was good for Preston Plevrides as a senior at Marlboro High School in New Jersey. He was charismatic, handsome, captain and MVP of the football team.
Everyone looked up to him, kind of. I mean, that's kind of how he was around our school. Like, everyone knew him, everyone was trying to say hi to him.
He just was happy all the time. Always happy. He just had that aura.
I hate you so much. Stop.
What were his dreams in football?
He's going to get himself good enough and strong enough and fast enough to play somewhere. If it wasn't at the NFL, it would be in Europe.
In college, those dreams would come to an end.
And he'll take Briggs back to midfield, and Briggs now returning it over the 40. And there's an injured player down. Boy, I did not like the looks of how I saw him lying there in that field.
October 4th, 2005, LaSalle University in Philadelphia. Plevrides is a 6'2", 230-pound freshman linebacker. At practice, he gets injured in a helmet-to-helmet collision.
I remember him coming home that night, a little bit concussed. You know, you're kind of weary, you don't really know what's going on.
In a game 4 days later, Plevrides tells the LaSalle trainer his head hurts. The trainer sends him to the student health clinic where he is diagnosed with a concussion. But 2 days later, a nurse tells Plevrides he can return to play after sitting out one game.
Was he symptom-free at that time?
No, he was never symptom-free. Not at all.
Why do you say that?
He always complained about headaches.
And how did he deal with it?
Advil, handfuls at a time.
Plevrides plays in 2 games without incident. Then, on November 5th, 2005, with 2:42 left in a game against Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, he tries to make a tackle on a punt return.
He went down like a ton of bricks. I mean, he hit the ground and he was out.
Doctors, trainers, and coaches rush onto the field where Plevrides lay, convulsing.
He was just shaking. And then he kind of rolled over onto his back and he just went completely limp.
I was worried then. I was worried then. You can't describe the look in his eyes.
And I think they're just going to end the game right here. And I think that's a good decision.
It's hard to go play football after you see something like that.
The head coach and team trainer run to Mercy Hospital just a few blocks away. Assistant coach Phil Petit is in the ambulance.
He started to foam a bit at the mouth. At that point, he was starting to fade.
For 2.5 hours, surgeons work furiously to save Plevrides' life. A massive blood clot is putting pressure on his brain. To relieve the pressure, the right side of his skull is removed.
This part was all pushed in because they had taken his skull off, so the brain was exposed. He was on life support.
He was laying there, tubes out of his head. He had tubes going down both nostrils. My beautiful boy was laying there.
Today, 24-year-old Preston Plevrides is the face of concussion and consequence. He struggles to eat, walk, and talk 4.5 years after his injury. Do you remember the hit that you took on the field?
No. When I
What do you remember about the Duquesne game? At least 55 high school and college football players have died of brain injuries sustained on the field since 1995, according to the National Center for Catastrophic Sport Injury Research. Preston suffered second impact syndrome, which occurs only in athletes under age 23 whose brains are still forming. It is a rare, often fatal injury that happens when a brain that hasn't healed from a prior concussion is jolted again.
The word concussion in Latin means to shake violently. Think about the brain as an egg yolk inside an eggshell.
Mickey Collins, who has reviewed Plevrides' medical records, is one of the world's leading authorities on sports-related concussions.
If you have a blow to the head, that's sufficient enough to cause the brain to move inside the skull. A certain neurochemical called potassium is released outside of the neuron. At the same time, a second neurochemical, calcium, which is supposed to be outside the cell, it leaks into the neuron. And for some reason, a second blow during this period of metabolic crisis will set off a cascade of events that you can't turn back from. And that's when you see the massive brain swelling. I don't believe the second event would have ended up resulting in a catastrophic outcome if it weren't for the first concussion occurring.
Preston lived without a portion of his skull for 5 months. He would spend his 20th birthday in the hospital trying to regain the use of his arms and legs. After 9 months, he began moving around with a walker. In 2007, 2 years after the hit, he was exercising daily and starting to regain his speech. But Preston began having painful seizures, as many as 10 a day. So in July 2009, doctors disconnected the frontal lobe from the rear of his brain. The surgery left him barely able to move or talk again.
He was devastated. I remember him crying after his operation, saying, "Nothing works." And he didn't expect it to be that bad.
Preston said to me he doesn't blame the game. The only thing Preston blames is lack of knowledge.
In 2007, the Plevrides sued LaSalle University and team trainer Bill Gerzebek for negligence. E60 obtained this deposition of Gerzebek, who was questioned about his evaluation of Preston 5 days after the initial concussion.
No orientation or memory questions?
No.
No recall questions?
No.
You did nothing to evaluate his mental status?
No.
The university has admitted no wrongdoing and still employs Gerzebek. But last November, LaSalle, which no longer has a football program, agreed to pay the Plevrides $7.5 million. In December, the NCAA began revising its concussion guidelines. On April 29, 2010, it urged schools to have a concussion management plan on file, requiring clearance by a team doctor before an athlete returns to play.
This case is significant because it's a wake-up call that you have to have a serious program with regard to head injuries.
At-home aides and Preston's parents care for him around the clock.
My name is Preston Plevrides.
5 days a week, he sees therapists who help him work toward one of his goals, to speak publicly about the dangers of playing with a concussion.
How important is it for you to have people understand your story and learn from your experience?
Very.
Very important. Yeah.
Because I don't want people to end up like me.
This is a young man that's been through a heck of a lot.
It's now February 2010, and all eyes are on Preston Plevrides. A concussion awareness event at a New Jersey hospital. In the audience, high school trainers, coaches, his therapists and family listen to his story.
Too good.
What was the message in your speech?
My son survived, but look at his life right now. My son is the face of consequence, of not understanding the symptoms of a concussion.
What has been the hardest part of all this for you?
I